Yeah, this is Rick Ness. Yeah, I think you got something of mine. Listen, I know that you took my 10-inch suction line, all right? No, I know. No, hey, listen, no, you listen. You took something that belongs to me, and I want it back. This
Rick Ness has struggled to make a comeback after taking some personal time off, but now Rick is up against rivals in the area who would see his destruction. He has discovered a neighboring miner stole his only suction line that feeds vital water to his wash plan. Without it, Rick has no hope of getting on the gold. How will Rick face off against thieves? In this cutthroat industry, any wrong move could see his career and life destroyed.
You're not gonna believe this. I found a suction line. Where? Some on the other side of the mountain took it.
Rick is driving down a very muddy and wet road toward his worksite at high speed. He is in a state of emergency. When he jumps out of his truck, he immediately pulls out his phone and tells the person on the other line that he knows they took his 10-inch suction line. He is cursing and arguing and tells the person on the line that he needs to listen. Insistent that he knows they stole his property, he raises his voice and tells them that he needs his stuff back. After asking around, Rick has discovered that a neighboring miner has stolen his only suction line that he desperately needs to get his operation going. Without this vital piece, he cannot pay back his debts or get back on his feet. A wash plant cannot operate without water, and that is what the suction line provides. After his phone call, Rick begins calling out for his best friend, Z, and telling him that he found out a guy on the other side of the mountain took the suction line. Rick explains that his source of information was Kyle, who worked for him last season. According to Kyle, the guy who stole the suction line had been asking around for one, and later, he saw the thief searching around the area where Rick's suction line was left. Z is stunned that anyone would just steal like that. Rick is having a hard time controlling his anger, as he says he cannot stand stealing, and he promises Z that he will get back his suction line. Rick runs to his truck and goes racing toward the neighbor's worksite. On his way there, he comes across a pair of men driving toward him in a big SUV, and he pulls up next to them, both their windows down to communicate. When they disclose their identities, their faces and names are blurred out.
I'll turn around, you can follow me down there.
And we learn that they are not the thief from the phone call. Rick tells them to follow him back to his site. As the two strangers drive around to follow him, Rick turns to the camera and says he knew the thief would not have the guts to see him face to face, so he sent his 2 employees to return the suction line for him. Rick says he is trying to control his anger because he just caught a glimpse of the suction line on the trailer and it is all messed up and smashed. If the suction line is unusable, then he plans to drive straight out to confront the thief in person and knock his teeth out.
I'm trying to keep my together right now because I just saw it on the trailer and it's all up. If this ain't usable, I'm driving straight out there. I'm gonna knock his teeth out.
This entire situation has been testing Rick's patience like nothing ever has before. When he gets out of the truck to examine the suction line more closely, he starts to laugh in anger when he sees the condition of his property.
Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. It's destroyed.
In an effort to calm down, he goes over to Z to describe the condition of the suction line, describing how even the basket is destroyed. We learn that the hose has been crushed flat, and they use duct tape to try and piece it back together. Rick storms away in anger, and he uses the excavator to remove the suction line and basket off of the truck bed and just lets it clatter to the ground. After that, he yells at the quickly disappearing SUV of the thieves and tells them that he is going to pay a visit to their boss soon.
Tell your boss I'm coming for a visit.
Rick is still fuming, shaking in anger and adrenaline as he stares at the junk they brought him back, and he wonders why they would even send it back when it is clearly unusable. Rick turns to Z and tells him he thinks they should go up there and get a new suction line from the thieves, but Z advises him to calm down and look at things rationally. Rick is stubborn and says that he is owed a new suction line from them and won't let this issue go. Z agrees that they are owed better, but their situation requires them to choose a path that would be the quickest, safest option, and then they can deal with the rest later. Z tells him that he should just ask to borrow a suction line and wait to cool off to deal with the thief. Rick thanks him for his sound advice, and they both get back to setting up their wash plant. After that intense confrontation, Z and Rick get to work, sluicing some stockpiled pay dirt from the Raleigh Valley cut. The two of them have made quick work of the pay dirt, and things have been going very well for them. As they scoop in the last bit of pay dirt for the day into the wash plant,
we also see the bedrock contact coming in here. And in between, I think, is the paleo channel.
Well, that's perfect.
Rick explains that he's just excited and relieved to see some gold being gathered after too long a journey to even get started. Rick pauses the wash plant and takes a close look to see how much gold is sitting in the box. He finds it difficult to see through the dirty water, and Z thinks there is too much dirt filtering through the plant. And if even he can spot the flaws in their operation, he considers it a very bad sign. A few tense moments pass where neither of the men spots any gold in the wash plant, when finally Z locates a chunk of gold. They bask in a moment of pride and reflect on what a difficult journey it has been to get to this moment. Rick passes Z the first bit of gold they found and says that it's for him to keep, because he's so thankful for his hard work and dedication. Things are looking bright for Rick Ness. Over at Duncan Creek, Rick Ness is on top of the world as he clears overburden out of the creek cut so that he can have a large stockpile of pay dirt constantly feeding his wash plant. He is feeling confident about this because this cut helped them reach their goal last year, and he hopes it will pull them through to their goals this year too. Only 5 weeks into the season, and he has already mined 250 ounces of gold. This is Rick's fastest and most lucrative beginning ever. The only issue he has now is that they are running out of pay dirt from the creek cut. The consistency they've been experiencing will soon run dry. According to Rick, they only have around 4 days worth of pay dirt in the next strip, so to progress, they need to expand their operation and spend more money. As the workers load up more pay dirt for the wash plant, they notice that Rick looks to be ready to announce something. Rick tells his crew that they need to move locations soon and that he has picked out a place upstream, hoping to get similar results.
I hate to make guesses, and I won't, but I will say that it looks good. It looks really good. Like some of the best I've seen it in that box, so.
If the pay streak from the creek cut continues under the 26 acres of frozen ground to the west of them, it could hold over 1,000 ounces in gold. The biggest problem with this plan is that there is permafrost in the area, which means that it has never been mined. However, they have never dealt with permafrost before. They crew decide that they'll use the new dozer to tackle their permafrost problem. This will cost quite a bit of money. The dozer cost $500,000 and burns $2,500 of fuel a day, which amounts to the same operating cost of all of the other equipment Rick owns combined. However, this dozer was built to be able to open up ground with frost points. It pushes 2 rock trucks worth of dirt in one scoop. The dozer weighs over 300,000 pounds and begins to sink into the soft dirt. This causes the operator to slow down and eventually becomes stuck in the dirt. Rick is called to help pull the dozer out of the deep mud. Rick is worried by this delay because it is necessary for him to keep stripping land, and any delay could cause his entire operation to stop completely. The removal of the dirt begins, and Rick believes that as soon as he digs out all of that soft soil and mud out of the way, the wheels of the dozer will get more traction and allow it to move forward with ease. His focus remains on getting back to work as fast as possible. As Rick digs, he and Brennan coordinate to avoid any collisions between the two massive machines. Rick manages to remove the last bit of mud, and the dozer is free. The quick rescue leaves them in good spirits, and they hurry to get more pay dirt ready. We hope you enjoyed some of Rick's best moments on Gold Rush. Thanks so much for watching. If you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.
There's 40, going 50, awesome. 60, 70.
No way.
82.37.
In Alaska, Parker Schnabel discovers what may be the richest gold mine. On the next episode of Gold Rush, he claims to have made the most crazy treasure ever. Will this be his greatest win or risk? Stop wasting time and start. Parker Schnabel is overworked managing 2 mines in different countries. He has had initial challenges in Alaska, but gold is bringing growth. His Yukon crew is rushing to mine the massive airfield claim before the season's water license expires. Everything must be stripped and paid for to mine everything left this year. Parker's crew has mined 48 of his 90 airfield acres, including the Keyhole, Easy Street, and Bear Cut. They are using Slucifer to run pay dirt from the 18-acre payback cut to the 24-acre runway cut, the largest and last cut. They must have 5 acres down to pay the next week before restarting Big Red, so it will wait until all the stripping is done. With only one wash plant, the runway cut is all hands on deck until stripped, except for one crew member. Tyson Lee drives the 750 excavator through the payback cut, while Parker handles the D11 and Mitch removes runway overburden with the 700. Given mounting barriers, staying ahead is a daily battle. Air from the 700 excavator suddenly smells like coolant, indicating difficulties. A broken radiator leaks coolant into the hot exhaust manifold, disrupting their plans. Needing replacement components quickly, Mitch calls Taylor. Tyson then departs his 750, leaving him with 480, reducing his ability to transfer Slucifer money. With just 480 digging paid, they risk running out of pay dirt and having nothing to process. Reducing the feed rate reduces gold flow, but it's better than shutting down the plant. With Slucifer decreased and Big Red off, mining all 90 acres is less likely. Crews are removing heavy dirt from the runway cut.
Tyson, do you have a copy? Tyson? Hey, there's a huge build-up in the pre-wash. I don't know what to do.
I'll get it.
They're loading it out without a place to transport it since it's late in the year to open 20 feet of dirt. Parker's crew is racing to clear the 24-acre runway cut to feed Big Red wash plant. Big Red waits on a mountain to wash rocks. If they had pay dirt now, it would work. Tyson is in a tough spot after taking the 750. But opening the ground is crucial to avoid leaving a lot of gold. Tyson is digging for cash to feed Slucifer in the 480, while Mitch's 700 excavator is being repaired. He has reduced Slucifer's feed rate and hopes not to make more changes, but Big Red comes first. However, Taylor arrives with wonderful news. The 700 radiator has been changed and is ready. This should restore their momentum. This machine has transported tons of soil and paying dirt to the wash facility. Tyson can feed Slucifer 220 yards per hour with the 750 back in service. They can process more pay dirt and extract more gold. The 750's return is a big relief, allowing normal operations. Parker's sole wash facility is back online, promising a better season finale. Mitch Blaschke is under pressure to move pay dirt at Parker Schnabel's Indian River claim before the season expires. Both Big Red and Slucifer wash plants operate 24/7, making feeding them essential. Mitch moved Evan, a young passionate rock truck driver, to loader operator to boost output. However, a big issue abruptly halts their progress. Evan finds many large pebbles in the sluice runs, forcing Big Red to stop. Big Red is down, so no gold being processed or money is coming in, but expenses are rising. Big Red must be fixed and working again when needed. Mitch and Tyson quickly discover a blown-out screen deck portion. Huge rocks and sluice runs indicate a large hole in the screen, which filters larger pebbles from finer pay dirt. Huge pebbles clog the opening runs when the screen breaks. Interrupting water flow prevents the guns from catching gold and washes away the sluice box end. The team tackles the tricky screen repair.
The other end of that goes right into the generator head, and it's cooked right off. I mean, you know, this is the engine. This is what powers.
Mitch says the material they're processing is quite sharp and aggressive. This caustic substance slowly erodes tiny screens, cutting them. The damaged screen is removed and replaced with a new one, fastened in place. The screen deck connection is crucial to gold mining. Screens separate larger boulders from finer pay dirt, allowing gold-rich material to be collected. Breaking screens lets big rocks fall through and clog sluice channels. This clog prevents the water from flowing properly, preventing the riffles from catching the gold, which washes out of the sluice box and is lost. Big Red needs to fix the screen to keep processing pay dirt efficiently. Mitch, Tyson, and the crew quickly fix the damage, emphasizing the screen deck's value. With the new screen, the crew restarts Big Red. The effective repair brings relief and satisfaction. Evan's rapid diagnosis saves the squad a lot of gold, proving his value. Over $90,000 is worth 51.6 ounces of runway cut gold. Running Big Red for a week might net $500,000 in gold. Slucifer has been efficient, digesting the chopped dirt and generating 336.05 ounces of gold, worth over $600,000. Parker's team is optimistic because both plants are running well. They appreciate being at the end of their huge mining activity and the effort required to move the wash plants. The crew wants to maximize the season and leave no gold behind as they reach the finish. Parker Schnabel's mining operation is running, but new challenges are straining the workers. Mitch Blaschke is carefully processing a lot of pay dirt from Parker's Indian River claim before the season ends. Mitch has shifted Evan, a young, energetic crew member, from rock truck to loader to help meet demand at Big Red and Slucifer wash plants, which are open 24/7. Despite these achievements, Parker adds a major task. Parker intends to establish a new operation in Alaska's Yukon in 3 weeks, with both wash plants working well in the bear cut and delivering over 1,800 ounces of gold.
Big moment! This is what we've been waiting for and working on all day, buddy. Let's do it.
The season's success depends on both plants working, as over half the area cleared, covering 4 million square feet. Mitch Blaschke must free up more land, including the Panama Canal Cut, a 10-acre cut. Mitch must dig up the only road connecting the camp to the current cutting and build a new road while maintaining critical access to the mine site after hitting frozen pieces and ice on the lone road to the camp. As they start this project, they discover the earth is frozen, aggravating the issue. Tyson informs Mitch that too many projects have left them without soil for the night shift. Parker's frequent plan modifications cause tension, but Mitch's crew is determined to finish the last 350 feet of the new road. They connect the new road just in time, allowing cars to dump pay dirt. With the new road, they can pile dirt and run wash machines. Parker's staff is under pressure to maximize gold production with limited time and resources. Machinery runs at maximum capacity as trucks load coarse tailings. Parker's all-or-nothing decisions push the crew. In 12 hours, they finish the road, enabling vital wash plant access. Mitch examines Parker's bold strategy, knowing that gold miners cannot hold gold underground. Justin and Tyson contend with frozen pay dirt impeding gold recovery in the machine. Cold spring weather makes the permafrost refuse to thaw. The frozen substance makes stripping and hauling difficult, despite their best efforts. Mitch agrees to temporarily shut down the plant to melt and strip after discussing the issue. Though risky, they believe it's necessary to maximize gold recovery over time. By freeing up labor and resources, they aim to strip more efficiently when the weather improves. The workforce prepares to melt and strip as the facility closes, knowing that their success depends on their ability to respond to challenges. They take the risk with drive and teamwork, knowing it will pay off. Parker's decision to cease operations on Big Red because of financial worries.
There you go. That's dead nuts. I just need a rock. Yukon hammer.
Is a deviation from their usual 24/7 running plan once sluicing begins. Parker takes this smart risk due to rising fuel costs and the need to boost income. Parker hopes postponing the wash plant will allow his staff to strip more land and expose it to the sun to thaw. The success of this strategy depends on good weather, which Parker is willing to risk. Nona Lovelace, the office manager turned heavy equipment operator, uses the 73-ton D10 dozer to cut through the deep permafrost. The frozen ground makes mining difficult, but Nona's passion drives her to go. Nona thinks mining is fun since you can overcome obstacles like permafrost. Due of permafrost's harshness, the D10 dozer's blade peels up, stopping progress. Big Red's downtime is compounded by this setback, placing pressure on the team to fix it soon. Technician Smith and welder Dan Colon rush to repair the D10 dozer and restore service. Their efforts show the gravity of the situation, as every moment missed means lost cash. After the suspended pay downtime, the crew resumes operations with relief and worry, despite the shortcomings. They made over $290,000 in gold during the shortened week. While this is a break, Parker knows their situation is terrible. With so much soil to process, any more delays could hurt the season. Parker Schnabel is meticulously planning to capitalize on a potentially successful pay streak with the 4-acre wolf cut on the other side of the claim. Parker wants to deliver 1,000 ounces of gold this season, so he needs to efficiently access the pay dirt, which is 30 feet underground. The crew must remove 100,000 yards of overburden to reach gold-rich soil. The approaching season makes this duty urgent and requires careful planning and hard work. The group meets many hurdles along an old dredge pond, made worse by the flooding. Parker realizes the muddy conditions are making things harder. He warns about big machinery getting bogged in the mud and stresses the significance of careful maneuvering to avoid problems. Michael Baudry, a new crew member, keeps calm despite the obstacles. Michael brings tenacity and perseverance from past adversity to the group, ready to tackle any challenge.
With a chain on the excavator, get it up on dry ground so we could work on it. It must have shut off or the silt got in there and plugged it up.
Water escaping melting permafrost complicates excavating. This unforeseen event floods the cut with pond water, threatening their efforts. Parker and his staff plan to manage rising water levels after realizing the problem. They installed a sump pump to regulate water flow and prevent floods, allowing them to control the dig site. Parker perseveres to maximize the wolf cut's potential and ensure no gold extraction is missed. Mark cleverly floated the pump on old pontoons to prevent flooding. It's a race against time to rescue the season and keep the money flowing. Mitch is stressed with only 5 days to launch Slucifer. Summer seems to fly by. Mitch places Slucifer in a 30-ton pad and installs the super stacker for speedy pay dirt processing to meet Parker's deadline. Getting everything ready for surgery is a race against time. The crew races to finish Slucifer before Parker arrives from Alaska after repairing the superstacker. As they board the 120-foot superstacker, nervousness grows. However, it elevates and hits the free wash, marking a major goal. Parker is closer to digging out the 90-acre airstrip and starting his Alaska enterprise with 2 wash plants. Despite challenges, the team is determined to keep the gold flowing. An unexpected conveyor blowout halted production, but Parker's crew quickly restored it. Big Red continued to extract gold from the Easy Street cut, securing revenue. Chris detailed their earnings, showing a considerable increase over last year. Having the superstacker at the cut is a big step toward making Slucifer operational. Mitch and his colleagues work hard to cover every detail because failure could slow them down. The conveyor plug occurrence shows that mining always has obstacles. Parker's quick thinking and the team's resourcefulness allow them to solve the problem swiftly, demonstrating their flexibility to unexpected conditions. The crew's recent successes and future prospects keep them upbeat despite their problems. When they hit 1,500 ounces for the season, they feel accomplished. Parker warns them that the Alaska operation is coming up.
Hustling.
You got it pumping, huh?
Yeah. The more you start revving it, the faster it goes, but the chance of it blowing up gets a lot better.
The crew knows their success depends on their ability to stay focused and go forward under difficult conditions. Parker and his team are driven by purpose. Despite challenges, they are committed to a record-breaking season. Mud pits and equipment failure have plagued Parker Schnabel and his gold hunting team. They persevered through determination and resourcefulness, showing their unrelenting commitment to success. Parker's leadership and hands-on attitude have helped the team overcome mining's complexity and create confidence in their ability to succeed. Parker remains certain that the work will be beneficial as they open new cuttings and push through the toughest terrain. Parker Schnabel's gold search is looking good with a new Alaska operation and promising results. Do you like this content? Subscribe and follow us for more. In Haines, Alaska, Parker Schnabel, a young gold miner, was born to his grandfather, John Schnabel. John Schnabel was the miner's grandfather. His experience taught him the importance of putting in a lot of effort and the results of each gold nugget that he extracted from the ground. By the time he was 16 years old, he had taken over the family firm and started making deals with prominent figures in the mining industry, such as Tony Beats. He also had the ability to get land leases and demonstrate his capabilities on national television. He had amassed more than $13 million worth of gold by the time he was 25 years old. On the other hand, the high expense of pursuing gold was accompanied by the costs that were associated with operating a mining operation. The equipment that his team had to transport was so expensive that it might be compared to the price of some people's homes. These machines required continual maintenance, operators with specialized skills, and a substantial amount of gasoline. Another mound of cash was labor of some kind. When he made the decision to invest in Dominion Creek, he put $15 million into that enterprise in the hopes of receiving a return that would propel his career to the next level. The celebrity that comes with being on reality television comes with a number of benefits, including admirers, public recognition, and a consistent revenue stream that is not necessarily dependent on the price of gold. On the other hand, it comes with a spotlight that has the potential to make every failure feel a little bit more painful. As a result of Parker's investigation, he discovered that when the cameras are on, people are waiting for errors, which are what keep reality television going. However, despite the fact that his crew toiled relentlessly and put in 75-hour weeks, the weight of leadership was firmly on his shoulders. It wasn't simply that they were employees, they were also the ones who knew him when he was at his worst and in the gutter. Not only did he owe them a wage, but he also believed that this business could continue to function. His personal life was falling apart in addition to the strain that was being placed on his finances. It was during the 7th season of Gold Rush that viewers had the opportunity to become acquainted with Ashley Ewell, an Australian veterinarian nurse. He had been in a relationship with her. The termination of their relationship in the year 2017 left him obviously upset, and the fact that he was emotionally vulnerable in that way does not make mining any different. In the moment that Parker disclosed that he had declared bankruptcy, he accepted defeat, so revealing a level of betrayal that extended beyond monetary considerations.
Walk away.
Yeah, walk away.
I'm gonna go get a thermos.
Is there some gold here?
Yeah, we're gonna waste.
The stark fact that gold mining is unpredictable, hazardous, and may even be downright unpleasant, is the subject of this narrative. The devastating disappointment that comes when you pour all you have, time, money, and sweat, into the land and the earth decides to keep its treasures buried is there. The joy of a good haul and the exhilaration of seeing numbers go up are only two examples of the emotions that can be experienced. In his time working in the mining sector, gold miner Parker Schnabel has seen a great deal of failure and difficulty in terms of his finances. In the gold mining industry, the highs are powerful, but the lows cause you to rethink everything, from the decisions you make in business to the relationships you have. Although fame can magnify achievement, it also has the potential to make defeat more isolated. Downsizing is not just about cutting costs. It is also about telling individuals who have put their trust in you that they do not have a job anymore. Parker may have to start making difficult decisions regarding his finances in order to do this. Dominion Creek presents yet another obstacle, which is the looming question of whether or not he will be able to keep things functional. In addition to the need for additional people, fuel, and equipment, the cash flow is beginning to dry up. There have been times when Parker's presence on social media has been a double-edged sword. While social media platforms like as Instagram and Twitter allow him to maintain his connection with his supporters, they also provide the general public with a front-row seat to his shortcomings. It may be challenging to deal with this situation when he is attempting to maintain a positive mood for himself and his staff. The bond that Parker has with his family, and in especially the teachings that he has learned from his grandfather, John Schnabel, is at the center of everything that is going on here.
Oh, you're gonna wheel me up?
Yeah.
Okay, anytime.
Parker has been able to persevere despite the fact that everything else appeared to be coming apart, because he learnt from him the qualities of hard work, tenacity, and perseverance. However, even these lessons do not necessarily make it easier to accept the hard realities of failure after they have been experienced. The mining of gold is not just about gold. It is also about hope, danger, and the belief that there is something greater waiting for you if you dig deep enough. In spite of the fact that Parker has spent the most of his life believing in that concept, he is suddenly confronted with the opposite side of the coin. When there is no gold at the bottom of the pan, what are the things that happen? Parker is not the first miner to suffer a significant loss, and it is highly unlikely that he will be the last. The fact that Parker is accomplishing all of this while millions of people are watching is what makes him stand out from the crowd. All of the mistakes and failures that have occurred are now available for the general world to view. It won't be simple for Parker to take the next step. It is difficult to make a living in mining, and the financial losses he has sustained are significant. However, it is possible that there is something to be said about the manner in which he continues to get up, even when circumstances appear to be dire. When it comes to gold mining, tenacity is just as important as luck, and Parker possesses both of these qualities in plenty. Is that sufficient to have a positive impact on the situation? Time is the only thing that can tell. A Dutch gold miner, upon discovering that his stationary dredges were not going to get him to his aim, made the decision to concentrate on an abandoned trommel machine that had been constructed by a renegade miner several decades earlier. This is the story that centers around the Dutch gold miner. As opposed to transporting material to a predetermined spot, the trommel provided mobility and the freedom to move with pay soil. In order to return to base camp, the miner was required to disassemble and transport the trommel, which resulted in a daily expenditure of more than $60,000. The steep terrain and boat voyage made the journey challenging. One truck had a damaged tire and twisted rim, but the miner was unharmed. The crew worked hard to disassemble and transfer the trommel, moving the 20-ton drum onto a military tank transporter despite adverse conditions. During the trip, the truck got bogged in the mud and needed a backhoe loader to release it. The mining boss was pleased when they returned the trommel to camp after 3 days. The mobile trommel appeared efficient and flexible since it could handle massive amounts of material faster than anything else the digger had employed. As gold prices were at an all-time high, the miner relied on the trommel. The mining operator always thought long-term and took risks, and the trommel was a future investment. It helped him keep his business going despite all the challenges.
Pipeline to see what happens.
The mining veteran had previously spent over $1 million on a custom excavator to dig 9,000 ounces of gold. His prosperity came from smart investments and taking chances that others wouldn't. The Dutch miner was known for his tough management style, which was not always well appreciated. After throwing gasoline into a dredge pond and lighting it on fire, he was criticized and fined for environmental infractions. His harsh treatment of employees, especially during failures, often irritated them. Safety and the insistence on correcting mistakes created a high-pressure workplace. Living on a reality show made things harder. The prospector was scrutinized by the public because his every move was broadcast. The risk-taker knew his actions would have consequences, whether they violated environmental laws or mistreated his crew. However, he remained true to himself, took risks, took responsibility for his actions, and handled criticism. In the mining veteran's ongoing struggle to remain gold game leader, the trauma was just another episode. The risk-taker had always gambled, and this time it paid off. Mechanical problems and tough terrain plagued Yukon mining. However, his determination was unwavering. It was a gamble, but the trauma helped him meet his output goals and reaffirm his purpose in life.